We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Hi, it's Dave here, and this is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
And this is The Cinemile. It's the podcast where we walk home from the movies, or sometimes we drive because it's really, really rainy and we want to go to the biggest screen that's available, and it's a bit of a drive.
Uh-huh.
And we are going to see Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. A title which infuriates me. Because, well, surely the entire Mad Max story and movies, that's the saga.
Uh-huh.
So why is Furiosa a Mad Max Saga? It is a chapter in the Mad Max Saga, is my position.
I have no position.
I think they've got this wrong.
I think you should write a letter of complaint to the studio.
The saga represents the Star Wars saga is all the movies, the Skywalker saga. So what? And maybe I'll be wrong after seeing this movie, but this movie is telling us this is the Mad Max Saga. It's a Mad Max Saga.
All it means is that they just didn't want to call the movie Furiosa because people wouldn't know it was part of the Mad Max world.
Oh, sure, but just call it Furiosa, a Mad Max story.
Okay.
Or a Mad Max, unless we are to believe that all of the Mad Max films are their own separate sagas.
So let's stop talking about that now. And I don't know if you can sense my boredom or not as I'm driving here. Dave was gunning for this film. I wasn't bothered seeing it. He started going, I've often gone to films that I didn't want to watch.
Oh, that's not my voice.
Guilting me.
That's not my voice.
So I'm coming, begrudgingly.
You've been dragged.
I've been dragged.
It's rare we're at such a disconnect from the off, because I saw this was out and I ran downstairs. I heard Kathy downstairs and I was like, Furiosa's out. We have to go to Furiosa. And you said, what's Furiosa? And I said, where have you been?
I've been living my life.
And then I said, it's the new Mad Max film, and that's the moment your face dropped. And you said, I don't want to see that. I'm not going.
I was also like, oh, Charlize Theron in it. You said no. My face dropped.
I know, it was getting worse by the minute.
I didn't mind going to see it. It's fine.
You did, Matt. You really objected.
I accept part of being in a couple of go cinemas. Occasionally you get dragged to stuff you don't want to see. Now, I've always wanted to watch the original Mad Max, and I don't know why I haven't seen it. It's one of those ones that I'd like to see at some point. So I hope that by watching this one now first, I don't spoil the original for myself.
Oh no. Now the original...
It's got Mel Gibson in it, so I might want to watch it anyway.
He's not in it.
Okay, I got that wrong.
The original is the only one I have never seen, actually.
So Mel Gibson isn't in the original Mad Max?
He's in the original Mad Max. He's not in this one. He's not in this one, is what I said.
Maybe I won't go and watch it, so maybe this is it. Maybe this is my first and last entry.
The only other Mad Max you should watch, I think 2 and 3 are very good, but you should watch Fury Road, and it's a shame you haven't seen that.
Okay.
And that's the only thing. This is, for anyone who doesn't know, this movie, Furiosa, is a prequel to the 2015 Mad Max Fury Road, which was George Miller's big comeback return to his saga by producing another saga.
They should have just called this Mad Max Furiosa. Not to bring it back to that conversation.
No, but to be fair, no. I think the titling, the first half of the titling is correct. This movie is about Furiosa.
Okay,
Furiosa is the protagonist.
I should never have
so it's Furiosa, and that's where it all falls apart.
Anyway, where this is all falling apart is that we're still talking about the title. Let's go. Dave's excited. I'm not bothered, and I'm slightly distressed by the duration.
That was the other part where your face fell. I kept that one in my back pocket. I was like, I was waiting for you to say, eventually got you to agree. And then you were like, but how long is it? And I was like, it's 2.5 hours long.
And we are going to go and see it in the Max, which is like the Cork fake version of IMAX.
Yes.
So I am excited, but Max didn't have a screening till 8 o'clock, so at this point...
We are running out of steam. We're running out of fumes.
We actually have almost, as I'm looking, we have almost negative petrol in our car.
It's actually very appropriate.
Is there anywhere to stop for petrol?
To Mad Max, because oil and petrol is a very scarce resource in that universe.
Okay, this is weird. Also, genuinely, is there a petrol stop? between our house and the cinema? Because I don't think there is.
There seems to be a group of scantily clad warriors up ahead protecting some oil barrels.
That sounds
Perhaps
good.
we could ask them
All right, we'll be back in 5.5 hours after we watch the movie. We may or may not have petrol in our car. We may be stranded at the side of the road in the rain.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
As a child, my world was forever changed. My mother was magnificent. And he took it all from me.
Who do we have here?
She's from a place of abundance. This is our destiny.
My childhood, my mother, I want them back. I want them back.
Whatever you have to do, however long it takes, promise you'll find your way home. Protect the green place.
It's time to take what's rightfully ours. Ready, steady, go!
Hello, we're back in the car.
Hello.
And if it is your first time here at the cinema, we do not spoil the movie, so there'll be no spoilers for Furiosa or Mad Max, any of the Mad Max sagas.
Until we get to spoiler street.
That's right,
Yeah.
which will be clearly
signposted.
indicated. You'll hear the indicator, as you can hear it now. And just an update on the petrol situation, we are in the red. We're in the red.
decided to chance our luck.
We're going to try and get there.
It's great
on
for your
fumes.
car, actually. It's a really good thing to do for
I
the
think
car.
I think so. Yeah. No, but it's part of the Mad Max experience.
Exactly.
And the other part of the Mad Max experience was sitting in a cinema that had the heat on in the middle of May,
So
with
hot.
every seat full. So we had.
I think we went to a 4D screening.
We were sweating.
Yeah.
And and so thirsty as well. So it was just like watching this. People crawl through the desert. Did feel like a 4DX experience.
Because you can't drink too much because the movie's 2.5 hours long. So
Yeah,
you're
you
kind
had to
of stuck
conserve
there.
your rations.
Yeah.
So it was really.
Yeah, quite
very
fascinating.
immersive.
Great to see an absolutely packed cinema though. Love it.
Yes, I just googled. Apparently, this is really underperforming at the box office in the US.
Well,
this
not
is
at Cork.
set to So I'm delighted to see. Hopefully,
Yeah.
the international box
Really
office will be
busy.
better. It's set to be the lowest Memorial Day weekend opening in the US ever.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're all panicking. All the
So
studios.
that's a wider state of affairs, right, than just
Yeah.
the death of cinema and all
I
that.
think so. But then
Well, we're not here to talk
Dune
about
raked it
that.
in. But anyway, Kathy, I'd love to hear.
Maybe people are sick of desert things with Anna Taylor-Joy in them. I don't know.
Kathy, I would love to hear what you think about this film because I genuinely don't know. Sometimes I get a sense, I can sense from your body language or
all
how
that was happening in
sighing.
this film was I was fanning myself.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
I thought it looked incredible, so I loved how it looked. I actually really enjoyed it because it's like a series of vignettes or like just kind of lots of different stories being told. So there was chapters. So I felt like that kind of kept the pace of what is otherwise too long a film. But when you break it up like that, it works. I think Chris Hemsworth's amazing, like I always do. Don't know why he had a fake nose. Has he been taking notes from Bradley Cooper? Didn't know what was happening there.
It's acting.
I think nobody should be wearing prosthetics, and I think it was very distracting. And is he trying to be like, look, I'm so good looking that I need to make myself less good looking? I couldn't figure it out, and I think he's such a good actor and he's so charismatic and he was fantastic. So I think he was, I'd say, the best thing in the film. And I love the little girl, the young Furiosa.
She was great.
She was great. I think I just looked so cool, like having never watched a Mad Max, but obviously like I know about Fury Road and I've obviously seen Furiosa, like I know how like what Charlize Theron looked like in those movies and stuff, and I think they did a really good job of that. I think Anya Taylor-Joy was really good. I love the like chase scenes on the road. They were so cool. Looked like it was incredibly stunning to look at. So yeah, I had a really good time. Would I be keen to watch another one? Probably not. Would I have watched it if we were at home? Definitely not. I'd have turned it off. But it's a really fantastic film to see in cinema, and it really kept me moving. And I found the world really fascinating, and all the characters really interesting.
Yeah, I love.
A few plot issues that I'll get into in spoiler street.
Okay, great. Yeah, I had a blast. This is so fun. I love being in this world. It's so it's like a pantomime, the Mad Max universe. Like it's this vision of the future. It's this, and a lot of post-apocalyptic things tend to be, I'm thinking, The Walking Dead or The Road, or it's always, it's depressing, number one, and it's always just like the same ragtag group of survivors, just in different environments, all trying to kill each other, and humans are bad. This is like, what if everyone formed eclectic tribes and had very individual customs and cultures and uniforms, and everything is batshit crazy.
Very like steampunk, and I just think I love how they all looked, and I also loved how little dialogue there was in the film. Like, most of the dialogue was spoken by Chris Hemsworth.
It's true. They're very, very light on dialogue, very light on music is another thing I noticed.
The undoing of it, I think, was right at the end when Anya Taylor-Joy started talking.
Her accent, I think, is consistent with what Charlize Theron was doing, but it's this American twang, and it seems out of place with this really localized Australian
Everyone's
broad
Australian,
accent.
and the kids, when she's a kid, she's Australian, but then when she's an adult, she's American. And I appreciate they're trying to follow the Charlize Theron accent, but then
It's
the
jarring.
original kid should have also been American then.
I agree.
Because if you have an Australian accent and then you continue to live in Australia, you will continue to have an Australian accent, right? You didn't move countries. So honestly, I get hung up on things in films. I could not have been more hung up than I was on that.
I know.
Every time she spoke, I was enraged. I was like, "You're filming this in Australia, Anna. Go down to fucking Bondi Beach and listen to people for half an hour, and then you can put on an Aussie accent, mate."
But don't you feel it would end up a little Crocodile Dundee if you have a non-Australian coming in doing that?
She's an actor. Of course she can put on an accent.
Oh, bloody Furiosa! No, that's not Australian. That's cop.
I am a Furiosa. Wait, no, that's not. That's Russian. What accent am I doing?
Yeah, I loved the action in this. George Miller is such an incredible action director. He's just once in a lifetime. It
looks real. It looks like they did it all.
Well, a lot of it they did. We just watched The Fall Guy last week, and I felt like The Fall Guy was paying tribute to Mad Max with their stunts.
Like The Fall Guy was such a good appetizer for this film, because I kept watching this film and just thinking, look at those amazing stunt people, which is not how I normally watch films. So it genuinely, and the song in The Fall Guy about rolling the truck.
Yeah.
And when trucks were rolling in this, I was like,
they did it.
Yeah,
they did it. And part of the joy of watching Fury Road 10 years ago, was watching the behind the scenes stuff where you realize there is a lot of computer visual effects applied, but they're only enhancing, basically they had giant rigs and cars and poles. There were stunt people flying between cars on poles, and there's a lot of that I'm seeing on the screen here, and you just saw as well. There are clearly just incredible stunt performers doing leaps and rolls and spinning cars.
Now that we know what they are. And in Fall Guy, we were like, oh, look, the film that they were making, the fake film, we were like, oh, it's kind of like Dune. But now I'm like, no, wait,
it's
it was
like Mad Max. Yeah. And I said it last week. But no, they're Dune. They melded Dune and Mad Max in their fake film. But yeah, I just you gotta, when you go out and go to a place and do a thing and shoot it on camera, you just get better results.
So much better. But it's funny because I was like, this is making me, halfway through I was like, this is so good, it's actually making me want to watch Charlize Theron one. But then in the end of this film, they just play you the highlights of the Charlize Theron film. So then I'm like,
over the credits.
Okay, so I'll never watch that.
You just got the whole film.
Yeah, so I'll never watch it.
Well, unless you want to experience the odd jaw-dropping action scenes.
There's a chance I might have, and he killed it for me in the end credits. I don't know why they put that in. Because surely this gives that film a second life.
Yeah, that is an unusual
for people like
choice.
Me, Yeah. Anyway, Chris Hemsworth knows. What do you think of it?
I thought it's probably unnecessary, but I understand I think it is because he's too good looking, and he's too recognizable. So they wanted to
recognize him at the very beginning.
They want to kind of hide him a little bit, and I thought if it's going to help him perform, I thought he did a fantastic.
He's so good.
Pantomimic over the top performance.
They probably made him I don't know, $20 million to be in the film.
But they
Don't
get-
you want people to recognize
Yeah, but they
him?
get his name on the poster. They get him on the press tour.
He's in it more than Anna Taylor-Joy.
Going on Hot Ones, or which is the only press tour that people do now.
I guess, yeah. Anyway, we shall now indicate and drive onto Spoiler Street,
Yes.
and we'll be back. You may hear a short ad.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
All right, so full spoilers now for Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
She's furious.
She's so furious. I mean, it was a saga, I gotta say. If the definition of a saga, it goes over her entire life. So
Are the chapters, or the use of chapters, is that in the other movies?
I don't think so. No,
Right, okay.
the other movie, Fury Road, the most recent one, was very much over the course of a few days.
If they hadn't done
saw
it, I have to say, if they hadn't done the chapter thing, I think the film would have lost me, because it's 2.5 hours long. It's obviously too long.
Let's go through those chapters. I thought the opening chase with her being
Amazing.
taken and her mother pursuing them over what felt like quite a long time and picking them off one by one. I thought, what a fantastic
I've never really
introduction to
seen
this
anything quite like it.
It was
really
incredible.
gripped
That
me.
actress was very good. It was so gripping.
Action can be so good when you're just. This sounds so basic of me, but like when you're just following characters doing something, and so many directors get it wrong because you lose track of the central character, or there's no story, and it's just action for action's sake. But this was the story. This was like in lieu of dialogue.
Exactly.
We were watching the story.
Exactly.
unfold.
What you're saying is it's set up. They set up the stakes very clearly,
Yeah.
and all the characters and the placement of everything.
looks so good.
These
And
two
that little
people
girl
are
was so
ahead.
good.
You know, she's trying to catch them, and I loved how he thinks through sort of action with visuals so well, and just minute to minute stuff. Like, she gets a bike and gets petrol from one, puts it on the other, takes the wheel off the other, fixes it. You know, you get a sense of this world where
Yeah.
everyone is a scavenger, everyone is capable when it comes to mechanics. And she's picking them off with a sniper rifle, and then it was all so awesome.
It was so good. And then I think the abundance thing and all that was fascinating, because you would understand why people are so desperate to get there, like in this really horrible landscape. Chris Hemsworth, though, I just don't think he can't not steal a film. Like, he'll steal it out from anyone, will he?
Yeah.
His charisma is like quite something.
What I liked about his performance here is that I felt like he was falling into a trap, where he was applying the same. I think he's got a brand of comedy that he applied to Thor, Ghostbusters, all these things. That I think has become very tiresome.
He's really reining it in. Maybe the nose helped
This
him.
felt very different because there was he's a villain.
He's got a
which
different
helps.
nose.
Yeah, he looks different, but he's still got that sort of charm and that swagger, but it's different. I thought the way he held
pulled it back.
himself was very interesting.
Yeah.
He kind of leans forward.
He was very different.
And
It's good to see. I liked him as a villain.
Yeah, he fit the role
I
fantastically.
thought he was really good, and I like that he was all, like, he's horrible, obviously, but he's also like he's also like an amazing fighter, and like I like the sequence where her and that guy, I don't know what all that was about in the middle with her and the guy. I got really bored of it, but when her and the guy.
Do you mean
drove
the sort of the nice guy that she falls in with on the?
I just thought that was
the best
unclear.
action scene.
No, the action scene was amazing. That's what I'm going to say. With them and the tanker and like going through to the Citadel or
so
wherever, and then
incredible,
it's
yeah.
just them against Chris Hemsworth. That was like one of the best action sequences I've
No, I
ever
meant
seen.
the first one on the truck where they're being attacked by the scavengers.
That was good for a while, and then by the end I got a little bit bored of it.
Okay.
But the one when he lured them in and she was locked behind
so
the gate,
good.
and they were like
and you think
pulling
she's
down
going to
the
leave,
Citadel.
and then she goes back
It was
for him.
so good, and
Yeah.
because she'd done that with her mom and it had gone very badly, but she did it again, and this time she saved the person, and I thought that was like a really nice redemption for her. I just think what the film did that was a bit confusing. This where I was saying I don't like the plot was like they meet, and then it kind of skips ahead, and it's like I guess we're to think a few years later or a
But
few
he's
months
trained
later.
her. He says, I'm going to train you and
But
then
like,
get
it's a
you
bit
out.
of cop out of a film though to be like, and I know they're doing it in chapters, but like, I'm going to train you, and then next time we see them, they're like,
You're ready to leave. yeah.
ready to leave, and also they appear
But
to be very intimate. Like he's stitching her,
But
they're
Kathy,
putting their foreheads against each other.
That's all you need, right? It's
wasn't all I
implied that
needed.
time has passed.
But to me, I didn't realize time had passed until a little bit later because they arrived with cabbages. And there'd been all these cabbages in the last sequence, so I thought it was straight after, and she'd literally just put makeup on her forehead for some reason and wore the same clothes as him. So it wasn't clear to me, and then I didn't really understand their relationship, and then he was just gone, so I kind of felt like they maybe could have given us another scene with them. I don't know, I just felt like it was a bit lacking.
Maybe.
But my favourite thing about her is when she's like the girl. I think the girl character was so cool. And how she escapes by making herself that wig and cutting her hair.
Oh, that was awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
But then what completely threw me later on in the film, and I thought it made no sense and was completely inconsistent with the character, because I love how she hid like as a boy, right? That's how she protected herself in this environment where like it's really dangerous to be a woman. And yet later on then, when her hood comes off, she's got this flowing long hair.
Yeah, why wasn't she cutting her hair on the regular?
Made no sense, because there's men in that encampment who all have short hair.
I know.
So people are cutting hair. It's dangerous to be a woman. You were so shit hot when you were a little girl that you chopped your own hair off and weaved a wig out of it.
Now, I think...
They just wanted to give her a head shaving scene later on.
That's 100% what I was about to say.
But it was actually cooler that as a kid she hacked her own hair off.
Yes, I know, exactly.
That was cooler.
Just
she
keep her hair
never
off.
needed to go back to have long hair other than to have like this moment with the guy in the truck where he realised she's a woman.
I'm 100% with you.
It was
However,
really pathetic.
I don't think, by the way, I think by the time she is, a praetorian or whatever they called her, and she's riding in the rig, I think it is clear to everyone she is a woman at that stage. She's not hiding her.
They say he's mute.
No, but after that, when she's riding the rig with him and she's got her hair out.
Oh yeah, that's fine. But that's when she's escaped, though. She's no longer.
Yes, I know, but I think I don't think she's supposed to be like pretending to be a boy at that
she's
stage.
not then. But before that, she was supposed to be.
Yes,
And
I
her
know.
hair
Yes,
gets her
yeah,
away.
I know. You're right.
Truly nonsensical. So that kind of plot stuff annoyed me. I just felt like when she became Anya Taylor-Joy, it was so cool when she was on that truck, right? That scene where she was like the mechanic and everything. I just loved everything about it. But then as soon as she'd like the hair out and then she started talking and putting on her crappy Charlize Theron impersonation, I don't know, like, and I love Anya Taylor-Joy, like I think she's amazing. It's not about her. I just felt like the film lost the run of itself a bit because it got focused on trying to match it up with the next film instead of just letting it be her own character and its own thing. And I just felt like they got caught in that trap that prologues do, where they suddenly are trying to match it up with the next film, and then they really got caught in the trap because then in the end they like integrated it into a scene in the next film. Because suddenly I was like, wait, is that Charlize Theron? And then next minute they're showing us the next film, and I just thought, all right, George, like, we get it.
I didn't think it needed that. Yeah.
No.
What did you think of the fact that they kind of imply that she's got Dementus upstairs in the Citadel and he's a tree now?
I have no words.
I mean, is that possible? It was a sick, interesting, twisted idea.
So that's not in the other film, is it?
I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners.
I truly have nothing to say about that scene because it was just like I was like, wait, what's happening?
And who was narrating at the end? Was that the historian guy with the letters on his face?
Has to be.
And I was a little confused as well. Was he just before she steals the car from Scrotum and Rectus?
I love that. I love when she helped them load up the new car and then drove off.
Yeah,
with it.
that's great.
Like, she's so badass.
But
everything she did that was silent was so good.
But why was the historian with them then? Instead, are we to believe that like just everyone is starting to leave Dementus?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then it was like, the 40-day war, and that looked class, but then we didn't really see any of that.
Yeah, they kind of just breezed through that. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
I guess there's only so much budget, and to be fair,
they spent all their money on those 2 big oil rig scenes. In fairness to them,
the action scenes, the action scene at Gastown was spectacular.
Incredible.
The one, the one on Fury Road again was a little, if anything, probably a bit too reminiscent of the previous film.
Interesting. And I found it the one that was really cool, but then I got bored of it eventually. But I just think the thing in the Gastown thing was just so cool.
The Gastown thing was very
like when Chris Hemsworth shot her down, and then the guy shot like the citadel down that he was in, and then they're all hanging off, and then it was exquisite.
Actually, sorry, they'll all be screaming at us. That wasn't in Gastown, that was in Bullet
Sorry, in Bullet
Town. What was that one called? I love that. Like, that's what I mean about this world. It's like Gastown and the Citadel, and it's just fabulous. And by the way, if anyone hasn't played the game Mad Max from 5 or 6 years ago, please play that game. Seek it out. I played it on the Xbox 360. God, it was good. It was basically you're Mad Max and you're driving around this world, interacting with all these factions, and it's just fantastic fun, and they nailed it. So that's really, if you like all this and you haven't played that, seek that out.
Thank you for making me go and see it. I'm actually really glad I saw it. It was really cool.
Thanks for
I'm
coming.
writing a letter to Man Point Cinema regarding the heating circumstances of the room.
Are you going to write a letter?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Are you going to pop it in the post?
Apparently it's the only way to get listened to these days, because people will be so shocked that you sent them a letter. They'll like take it really seriously. No, I heard that legitimately recently.
That makes a lot of sense.
Anyway, thank you for bringing me. I had loads of fun. I'm dying to hear what our listeners think about it, because I'm sure they all saw it.
Do you have any interest in going back and revisiting any Mad Max film?
No.
Okay, not even to see Tina Turner singing in the Thunderdome.
I'll watch a clip of that. I'll watch that on YouTube.
All right.
Anyway, thanks everyone for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, please head over and leave us a rating on Spotify or iTunes. We would hugely appreciate it.
Yes, and let us know what you thought of Mad Max Furiosa Saga at the Cinemile Instagram, Letterboxd, YouTube, TikTok, or email us. Would you like getting emails? And we'll always write back to you. thecinemile@gmail.com.
Or send us a letter. Our address is...
Okay. Bye. Thanks for listening.
Remember me.